Hi everybody. So today it's kind of I'm trying to do more like a story time, or I'm just sharing a story about an experience I had, because I see a lot of people are doing story time, sharing stories or experiences. So it's I don't know what you would call this story, but it is a story and an experience I had, and I feel like I should share it with everybody. I don't know what would come out of it or what you guys might think, but anyway, you guys can write in the comments whatever you guys feel. But anyway, before anything, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please subscribe and watch my videos, everybody. Well, YouTube also encourages us to say that, so I'm saying that please like, share, subscribe, and watch our videos. Not just mine, but everybody, whoever's you can, that would be great. Thank you, and we all appreciate it. Yeah, and I've gained some weight. I know, I know it's the winter, so we all kind of hibernating, and it's winter here in US and it's cold. And January has started. Anyway, so my story about an experience I had. I had gone to a Asian fair where I was called in by the organizers, or the people who had rented the place or whatever, because I had a henna business when I lived in U City, and I used to have a henna is that mehendi, or whatever you call the hand decoration thing. Many countries do. But anyway, so I was doing that, and they somehow had known about me doing the henna tattoos and all, henna tattooing and all. And I was like, so they called and they said, would you be willing to come to the fair? And it was really far away, it was, I think, in or near a casino or something. Anyway, so, I don't know, Ameristar Casino or whatever. I normally wouldn't go there, but since it was a project or an assignment, like a business thing where I know that I could make some money, I thought, okay, I'm willing to travel, and went ahead and went there. And then, but then they were saying, well, you're going to pay something for the booth. So I was like, $75 for the booth. So I was like, fine, because, and they explained there will be lots of other booths and, stuff like that, and you guys can talk to each other, and there'll be food stalls and this and that, and it's going to be a huge, large thing. So that was like a lot of fun for me, and I thought, okay, that would be great, I'll go. So I went, and I was curious. I like fun stuff like this. So I went, and I was excited, and I didn't have to carry a table, or as if if you are somebody who does business of this sort, or like selling jewelry and all that, we have to, or henna tattoos or something, we have to carry a stool and table and chairs and lighting and all that stuff we have to. But I just had to carry my business cards and my design, all the design books I have and all that. So I had got my stuff already ready, and went, and with my henna cone box, I made cones, I'd made fresh cones, so the clients I would be working with, they would be nice and fresh cones, and my henna was from India, from my mom, where we grew up, from that town. And I had made them with, with a lot of, the way how we do it in India, very, step by step and all. And I had kept it ready. Then I'd made the cones, taped them, kept them ready to, to go. Anyway, I did that all, and I reached over at the place where this event, or whatever you call it, was organized. I went ahead and went there, and the organizers were very sweet. I had never met the organizer, but they happened to be really, really nice people to me. I went, and they gave me the beautiful table and chair and all that stuff. So I was kind of excited, about it, and people had started already coming to get the henna designs done. So that was exciting. So I'd already done 2-3 of them, and looking at, then they pulled up a few, a chair up here on the left and right. So I assumed that there would be other people, or maybe more henna tattoo, people who do the tattooing just like I do. And maybe I just don't know that there are more people coming. Anyway, so then there was one lady named Seema on the right, and on the left there was a friend of mine. Well, she was not a friend at that point, but a friend named a female named Sunita, and a female named Seema on my right. Anyway, I'm not going to go over their last names. Not, I don't know if it's relevant, and I really don't want to put their names out there like that, you know. But I'll leave their first names as they are. Fair? Okay, so Seema, we'll call her Seema T. Yeah. So Seema T, she kind of expressed like not having much confidence in her work, in her performance of how the designs are coming, how the color will be coming. So she kind of let me know that she's not very confident and her designs don't really come so that well, and this that, and more like she sounded very helpless, not confident and all. So it kind of felt really sad and kind of felt bad for her. So I decided to take it upon myself to go ahead and take her under my wing, more like a teacher or something, a well-wisher, a female friend who has been in this field longer, and I'm willing to train her and teach her my ways so she gets more confident and has her business going. Anyway, so meanwhile, in the midst of all this, we exchanged phone numbers, and she said, "Can I call you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, we can. That's fine. If you want to be friends, that's cool. I'd love to." So that day happened, and and she always called. She always made sure she called. So I kind of started becoming friends with her. Naturally, somebody's calling you all the time. You think, oh well, maybe she's a nice person, and you want to just and I go with the open, at least that's what my dad had taught us. Always go in with an open heart, open mind. Don't assume somebody's not up to good. Don't just assume that. Just give somebody a chance first to prove which way they're going to go with you. So anyway, I started training her, kept on boosting her up, pumping her to do better and better, what she can do, how what she needs to do, how to do the designs, how to speak to the clients. The other thing was that her English was not up to the not to the American level, not even to the Indian level, because she went into a Hindi medium school, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But so and she did not know how to communicate in the emails, what to say when you do get a client, or how to approach clients and all that. So but I had learned all that from my dad. See, my father had taught us in his advertising and marketing business. My father had already had me and my twin sister we had already done all these things growing up. Right from high school, we were allowed to go to my dad's office. We had insisted we wanted to go ahead and learn things and become more independent women. So especially my twin sister, she was very adamant on wanting to be this very a very independent person, very savvy in this, and she was very good in studies, like million times better than I was. So anyway, so I don't that my sister's story is another story. I'll tell you guys how amazing, how amazing she was. But anyway, that's another story I'll definitely share with all of you guys. Anyway, with the Seema story. So then finally, I befriended her. Then she kind of, in our conversations, she kind of mentioned that she needs she gets assignments, but they are not very often, like not right back to back. There is a span of 8 months or 12 months or whatever wait, or 3 months wait, or 5 months wait. And she's like, that's kind of frustrating because I want to make more money. I said, okay, well, you can approach people, you can post but she's like, well, I'm not sure exactly how to post stuff and approach people and what to say and all that. I said, it's not necessary that you have to say proper English. Even in your broken English or whatever, you can speak how you feel. Just say how you feel or what you need or want, or you're just looking for more business. But anyway, she still wasn't feeling very confident, like, no, I'm worried people might make fun of me, they might not understand me, all these things. So she's like, will you, so I was, but then from her talk, I realized that she needs more business. And I was at that time already working full-time, full-time shifts already in medical field. I think I worked at that time period. I worked in as an ophthalmic tech, so I was already doing something. So it's not like that was my henna tattooing or mehendi art was my only source of income. I was doing other stuff also. And so anyway, but then listening to her story that she needed more income because that was the only source of income she had. Well, her husband was into IT, so they were doing well financially, but she wanted to still have her own money. She still wanted to make her own money. And that's completely, me as a female, I completely understand her point that I still want to make my own money. I feel more, better about myself. And that's great. I actually love that, because I'm all for, women's rights and, stuff like that. Anyway, so then she was like, so then I thought to myself in my head, well, maybe when I go for, I told her, when I go for assignments, if I can't handle assignments, I would gladly pass them on to you, because I do work certain hours at the, eye specialist office. So I need to be over at there, and if there is assignments, I cannot handle either in the evening, weekends, or in the daytime. I'll gladly pass them on to you if you'd like to. So she was like, yeah, great. So she was happy about that, and I kept on passing these assignments to her, which I didn't want to do or I couldn't do for whatever reasons, because they were too far or whatever, stuff like that. But anyway, so then later on, she was like, oh, okay. So she started doing those. And then I thought, well, maybe I can try to help her out more. So I started taking bigger gigs on. Like I started taking bigger assignments so I could include her in there. Not as a partner, but not as necessarily as a partner, but I would pay her as a partner, but I never, I did not put the word out, I did not make it official on the paperwork as partner, but I just started adding her on, and any and all assignments I would go from henceforth, the bigger ones, I would go ahead and take her, and I would share from, let's say if we made 600, 300 each. Both of us would get $300 each. Well, anyway, so she was kind of really happy about that. And meanwhile, the good thing about, one of the best things about her, even till today, I feel is, whatever I kind of tried to put an effort in training or helping her to make her quality better, so she can, so she has more business coming in, anything and every little thing I told her, she grabbed it with both her hands, and she did all the things like practicing this, that, all that she did really, really well. But meanwhile, when I started, and then what I started doing is that I felt, oh great, she's happy about this, that I'm taking her along as a partner and sharing 50-50 both, even though I would, most of the times I would, 99% of the times, I would go in earlier than her and stay later than her, even though we are both getting 50, the paid 50-50. So anyway, so that's fine too, because this was my gig. I was getting the assignments. All these were my old contacts. I was sharing with her. And some were new contacts I was also sharing with her. And she's like, I don't know, how you come up with these people? I could name some big places, but I don't want to put it out there like that because I don't know if they are comfortable with it. So, Anyway, so then I went ahead and, decided, okay, you know what? She's happy about this. I'm going to try to help her out even more. So I decided I'm going to approach bigger places who can pay us $1,000 or something. So we would both be making, instead of 300, per person, we could make 500 per person or 600 per person. So I started contacting bigger places, like how my father had taught me. It's nothing I had learned on my own. This is something my father had already taught us when we were working in his office in advertising and marketing. In his office. Anyway, so then what happened is, when I started approaching these places, what I would do is, in the evenings or at night, after my work hours, in the evenings and at night, I would sit up till 3, 4 a.m. just sending out business letters, like how my father had taught me, how you let people know your contact information, let them know what you do and this, that, and just send these letters out. And because one of the things in my dad's office, that's what he used to have us do is type up these letters, and we would go ahead and we would have stacks and stacks to mail, like stacks and stacks to mail out. And from that, my dad used to keep getting business in, lakhs of rupees. Like that's his Indian currency, but that's a lot of money, these are a lot of projects. And my father used to say, we can send out like 1,000 letters, and even if you just get one gig, so that means you just get one assignment, you're making, he would tell us then the rest of the year, I wouldn't have to really work hard at all. Even if I just get one client, he was making that kind of money just by one, client accepting the letter and saying, okay, yeah, I want to work with you. What do you bring to the table? And let's sit down and talk, because he was, well, anyway, so then with her, I went ahead and, befriended her. I tried to help her out with all these things, assignments. I would start taking her for small and big assignments and bigger assignments after that. And when I started showing her my older, bigger assignment, I started taking her to those, she started telling me, I didn't understand why, but she would tell me, you know what, you need to stop putting your phone number out there and email address, just start giving mine now. Since you already have a job and you work full-time at the eye specialist office, why don't you just put my phone number and email? I said, yeah, but you said you can't speak in English, you don't understand. She's like, yeah, but I'll take the text or the email and I'll pass it on to you. Then you translate it in simplified for me in Hindi. Then we'll go ahead and talk about it, and then you can go ahead and type it up in English, and I will email them back the answer. For me, it seemed like a lot of ridiculous work. That sounds like I don't know if I should use the word BS, but bullshit, but I'm going to say it out loud. I'm about to be 52 this August, so I don't care. This seemed to me like a lot of bullshit, And I know an Indian girl talking, Indian female talking like bullshit word, but that seemed like a lot of bullshit to me. But I was like, whatever, I kind of befriended her. I've taken her under my wing, and I don't want to I don't want to judge her or whatever. So I thought to myself, okay, well, everybody's different. I'll just accept that and, just not judge her on that. Just let it be. Everybody's different, and I'll accept that about her. And, guess what? So this was like one of the big universities up here in Missouri. And she, I took her there for this assignment. I shared the assignment with her. We worked. I went in earlier, even though she for some reason said don't come in early this time. Like for this assignment, you don't come in. We'll cut it in two different parts where you do the end of the day and I'll do the beginning of the day. But this is my client. I have shared with you. I don't know how you're going to project. And plus, the reason why I added you to the team is, and we got bigger gigs, and I'm taking you to the bigger assignments is so that way we can help all the students who want the henna tattoo done, not just one or two, because that will look bad on me. Next time they might not invite us back again to the, to this event in their college, in their university. So this reflects on me, not on you. So I can't do that. So I went ahead and she had told me clearly, don't come in early. I'll be doing the first shift. And we never did shift before, so I don't know. But she kind of started making the rules for this business, which I had started. So I couldn't understand what's going on here. And she grabbed the cones I had made. She said, your cones are better. And she grabbed those and just ran over. After I came, she just stayed for an hour and a half or so and just ran away and claiming she had another project, and she just ran with my cones. Usually the payment would come really fast, so I never questioned, and I kind of forgot about it, that okay, well, we'll get paid one of these days, and the mail, the check will come in the mail, because that's what was the deal between me and the university. So, and then I realized that from that I would pay her half, like I always did. So I was kind of in a weird shock that the money didn't come. I decided to forget about it for a while. I thought it's a big university, they might be busy, I don't want to bother them. But a friend, the new friend I had made here on the left hand side, the Sunita said, hey, and by then Sunita and I had become really close friends, where we would talk like 2 or 3 times a day, like crazy, and sometimes even at night. Well, there was no filter, no limit when she could call me. So we had become that close. So she said, hey, so did you ever get paid by the university whom you had taken Seema for the gig, for this assignment, the big assignment where you're supposed to get a lot of money? So I said, I don't know, but I don't want to push it. It's a big university. They're going to pay me. I know they always did before, so I don't want to judge them. So, and, they'll pay. But I said, well, he or she also, I need to pay her also. So I'm going to go ahead and just send it then. So I had to find the email. I went ahead and emailed them. And so that was fine. I emailed them, and they emailed me back saying that we have decided, we ended up giving it to your friend, the other friend, Seema. They said your other partner, Seema, we gave the whole money to, your share also to her. But the university always, the people who gave me the project, they always used to verify my social security number because they usually paid me. And so then why did they even took her social security number, they even took my social security number. So I couldn't understand why they decided to give it to her. So then I just politely just asked, I sent them an email that, oh, I never authorized that you give it to her. They're like, oh no, she called us and she told us you need to give all the money to me, and I will go ahead and decide what to do with it. So that's when I was like, well, wait a second, I brought the project. How can you guys automatically between you two decide that that you're going to go ahead and pay her even without talking to me? Then why did you take my social security number? This really doesn't make sense, Well, anyway, so then finally I called up the university people and I said, this is not right, you guys such a big name, you guys, and we have worked together before, and at least you guys should have spoken to me before, and then you guys shouldn't have verified my social security number again if you're going to go ahead and give her the money, and neither of you bothered to even ask me when I'm the one who always got these gigs. So I think she was trying to sneak out the gigs from me, but anyway, she took all the money and stayed and was hoping I would forget about the money. So then when Seema when Sunita told me that you need to go ahead and call Seema and let her know you need your money back. I said, why would I bother with her? She was my student kind of thing. I had befriended her. Why would I would speak to the client like, hey, I did the project for you. The signing was between you and me. And even if you wanted to pay us separate, then you should have divided it in half and given her share and half my share. How did you, without even talking to me, how can you give my share to her when I'm the one who always did the projects for you before and even right now, this time also? Anyway, so that was the experience with her. And after that, she called me, and then the university had her come and drop off the check into my mailbox at home, where I lived on Kings Highway, on Columbia Avenue. But that's the weird story about my experience about a friend who kind of was slick and tried to take. And then she calls up like, oh, I really did mean to pay you. But I was like, you don't have to pay me. I worked with the client before you ever came into the picture completely. And you need to talk to me before that. Do you mind if I go ahead and just have them write one check? Why did they take my social security number? And who are you, first of all, to make these decisions on your own? I had taken you to the project, not you took me to the project. So I don't understand. And even then, I would never do that to anybody. Anyway, so that was a learning experience. That's what I wanted to share, that, you can befriend people, you can try to help lift up, but make sure somewhere you don't make the other person think that they can take you for granted or take you for a ride. So be wise enough to understand. That was my experience. And after that, I went into like a huge depression because I was like surprised how humans can behave, and just totally shocked because the kind of energy I had put into uplifting her, was, I just couldn't believe a human being would do that to me when I had been so kind and generous and understanding towards her. And my friend Sunita, she would call me all the time trying to talk to me. But I went into such depression for 9 months that besides work, I would not speak to anybody even at home. Like I went into major, like a weird kind of depression that I took it very internally, and I just was questioning everything, how humans are and why and all these things. And then now Sunita and I are still friends till today. Oh yeah, and then Seema, the lady I'm talking about, the girl I was talking about, she was like, oh, please. She would call me every leave a gap of 3-4 days, so pretty much every week, and tell me, oh please, if you get any more new gigs which you're not planning on going, or please, or if you're going on a big project, please take me along with you, please take me along with you, don't do like that to me, don't cut me off and all. But she didn't, I never told her that because of you I went into this major 9 months of depression which I couldn't shake off. I couldn't snap out of it. I couldn't get out of it. Like even if I wanted to, I couldn't snap out of it, just couldn't snap out of it. And so that was my experience with Seema. And then I decided, when she called me again and again, and I told her, even the first time she called me back again after dropping off the check, since the university told her she has to come drop off my money. She cannot just hug it up or keep it with herself. So after dropping it off, after 2-3 days, she called back. She's like, hey, please don't cut me out like that. Please make sure you take me for your upcoming projects, and also pass on the projects which you are not going to do, and da 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 da. I said, obviously I will. I don't hate you. I'm just surprised how, but I didn't want to tell her all that. But I said, yeah, sure. Any projects coming my way, because she kind of tried to tell me that you should just come out of this gig. You should come out of the henna tattooing and just let people like me, because people like me don't have work. Like people like me can't speak English. And then I kind of started thinking a lot in my head that maybe she's right. I can speak English. I can work at other places where, because of her English, she cannot really. So I felt, that right about it. Just the way how she did it was wrong. It felt like she kind of was trying to say that you're nobody. I could just walk over you and do whatever the heck you want. You are the fool who, you are the chump or a gullible person who decided to give me all this warmth and understanding and uplifting and all. And I'm going to go ahead and just use you and chew you and throw you out. And thank God Sunita mentioned to me about that at least take your money which is owed to you, at least, even if you don't want to ever talk to her, at least take your money back, say something and get your money at least for the work you have put. Because I went in earlier that day to help, even though she told me you can't come till 2 o'clock or something, but I still went ahead and went early and pitched in and started helping out, and I had my cones ready and all that. And plus she took all the fresh cones I had made. She had taken so the cost of the henna and all that. But anyway, for me, I had just felt so kind of warm towards her. So I kind of had I used to kind of feel sorry that her cones weren't, because she couldn't push properly from her cones. She had made faint ones which the color wasn't coming out good, and it took a lot pressure because she told me, see, my cones are hard to press. I said, because the way how you have made the cone, that's why it's not coming out properly. If not, it should be flowing. When you're drawing, when you're putting the henna cone, it should be coming out just fine, So, but anyway, or she had not shifted the henna properly. You have to shift the dry henna first before you wet it. You have to shift it 3 to 4 times to make it, to remove all the dust and all that which might get caught in the cone, in the tip of the cone, to make it flow better. Anyway, so that was a story about my I don't know, but now I call it a funny, I would give it a bad name, but I don't want to, because that was an experience, a learning thing. So now I have to remember to have my antennas up and my eyes open. They say, go into whatever you go with your eyes open, so that was kind of I don't know how to put it, but it was kind of a heartbreaking experience that somebody and I started thinking maybe I should make her like a formal partner, and all these hopes, and I thought we'll make it a bigger gig where we add more people to our flow, to the team, and make it bigger and larger, and we'll be all partners, 5, 6, 8, 20, as many women or girls want to join in. We would be a team of 15 to 20 batch, and we all would go as we all are partners. So I was wishing and dreaming and hoping all these things, and she just, and I could have helped her with so many other things, because I love to cook. We could have started our own catering business together, or so many other ways of create. If that's all she wanted, it was money. I could have helped her with a lot of other things. She just her thinking, she kept it so but anyway, so that was my experience, and I felt like I should share. That was one of my experiences, and there are plenty, trust me. If you guys are interested, I'll share more and more all the time with you guys. But that was one of the funny, and I always name them funny or weird. These are the names I write or say when I say about these, because I don't want to label them as a bad experience or something. We learn from something, and I agreed that and that's why Seema says that you're very idealistic, and so that's why you're disappointed more, or you go, she's like, it's hard for you to pick up and just think, okay, well, it was an experience, and move on quickly. You can't do that. You go into like 9 months to 15 months or whatever, depression, or 10.5 years of depression into, if somebody tries to hurt your feelings or hurt you in some way, whatever, or disappoints you in some way. But so that was the experience with Seema. And Sunita and I still laugh and giggle about that experience, and she cracks up and makes fun of me all the time. That she like, I can't imagine you decided to even forget about the money, and you even let her walk all over you, and you didn't even think that maybe because I took her to the project, she might have taken my money or taken my paycheck or the assignment money. You didn't even realize that she could do that. She's like, I had to point it out to you. So that she kind of laughs about it and kind of makes a little bit of fun about that. So that's fine with me, because we all have experiences and everybody is different. And I understand from Seema's angle also, as if one human being to another, and especially with her having problems with speaking in English, being in a different country, not a happy she was in a unhappy marriage, and so she had shared that with me. So I kind of felt very I felt like I wanted to be more, as a female, I wanted to be very understanding towards her, trying to make her feel warm that she's not alone here. She has a friend, she has somebody with her here. You're not alone here. I've been here in America for like 25, 30 years, so I felt like she doesn't have to feel alone or sorry for herself or pity or whatever. She can always rise up, But one thing really good about her, I will mention, that is, whatever I told her, she followed. Even till I tell Sunita, even till today, when I tell you something, you try not to, like, work-wise. I try to encourage her to follow to the point. Whereas Seema was such an amazing student. She kind of asked me to be my student, but she was that kind of person where whatever I said, she took it word by word. She followed to the point. She practiced and practiced, like how I told her that you will get better and better day by day. Work on your paste, work on your cones, work on the cones never really turned out great, but the designs turned out really wonderfully, and she would practice right from I saw her doing it. Like 7:30 in the morning, she was practicing doing the henna, the designs on just and I told her, you could just take a pad, the clipboard, and put a paper in and just start drawing. Don't and if you need to have the shapes, you can just put your and she had beautiful long hands, with beautiful long skinny fingers and all, so she could just start drawing. Don't just sit around. Practice, because when you're in front of the client, things should just flow. Things should just happen quickly. But so that was my experience with her, and so just felt like sharing with you all that sometimes there are kind of this kind of that kind of experiences in life. But after, so Sunita kind of helped me. So she's a very good friend also. She's a good friend of mine, and she kind of helped me in that time period. I would not talk to her actually. At home, people would, when she would call, in those days, I think we had cell phones, but I was not picking up my cell phone for anybody at that time. I was just in such depression that I couldn't like snap out of things. I just was like a zombie. And so when you'd call it at the home phone number, because we had the other kind of, the keying one, the home phone also I had we had at that time, and she would even call on that phone and ask everybody, can you please ask Mamta to pick up the phone? And I was like, just give me a little time to deal with emotionally whatever I'm dealing with. For me, I have to like internally figure out on my own how to deal with it instead of somebody else telling me. She's like, yeah, but what did I do? Seema did something to you. I'm Sunita. I didn't do anything to you. Why don't you talk to me? Why don't you? So it was like an everyday thing. Please talk to me. Don't stay away from me. Don't stop talking to me. And she finally made me realize, just let it go and snap out. That was an experience to let it go. But so because I had gone with such a, good heart towards helping Seema, and I wanted to lift her up and give her hope, and so anyway, so that was my experience. I don't know if it would be good, bad, but I still miss Seema. There are a lot of good things about her. I miss that, but yeah, and maybe if she had just sat down and talked to me, and maybe I would have understood at that time what she was hinting, that don't put your phone number out, or don't put your don't write to them when they, I will communicate with them from now on. I should have quickly picked up on it, which I didn't. I saw the red flags, but I was like, wait a second, why? Like, it's not making sense. These are all red flags. She gave me some red flags, but I chose not to understand them. I was like, no, in my head, like, no, she could never do that. Like, no, I don't think she would do that to me. I'm trying to be all this nice to her and understanding towards her. I'm trying to uplift her. And I'm actually kind of trying to take her in as a partner. I was about to make it all formal. So, but anyway, so that was my experience, and I wanted to share it with you all, since everybody's sharing stories. So we all are having these kind of stories, and I thought I should share mine too with you guys. I was kind of feeling weird about sharing these things, because some people would call them failures or stupidity or nonsense, or why didn't you use your head kind of thing. But so maybe I was gullible at that time, and I just didn't realize that. But that's okay. And then I did pass on the assignments which came towards me. I just started passing them on to her, and I decided I'll just do something else. Obviously, henna tattooing is not the only thing I know or can do. I can do lots more other things like interpretation, and I had done interpretation before. I could even go give speeches, all these things. So I just wanted to share this experience, and I did pass on clients towards her. I don't know if she did them, but I did give her phone, as like she had told me, would you mind giving my phone number to people, if you're not taking not doing a certain assignment. But I stopped doing henna after that, thinking let her be in this and let her do it. And she had become that good. She had become that good, even better than I was by the time she asked me. So I was more than glad to pass on the assignments to her. Although I don't know if she stayed in it, but yeah. And actually we had a website and all, and at that time I had my ex-husband had helped us, since I used to not be very technology savvy. So so he had, my ex-husband I had asked my ex-husband, would you mind helping us start a website? And so he had said, yeah, but you have to keep up with every week and all that, every day or every week. And so he would keep it up for us. We would, wherever we went to all these assignments, and we would pass on these videos to him. And we had loads and loads of design, the henna assignments we had done on there from all the projects we had done. And as soon as he found out that she had taken from one of the biggest clients, the check she had taken and kept it with herself, and I had not shared the money with me. And as soon as he found out, he totally shut down the website, and all our pictures went down the drain. All the videos and work we had done at the assignments because he just lost it. He's like, how could you let somebody do this to you? And he just started stomping and banging on the table, and He's like, I put all this effort for both of you guys, and how could your friend get away with playing you like this, and she played me too, and all that. And he's like, do you guys know that I was putting effort every week and all? So he kind of lost it. Instead of understanding what happened, he was completely lost it. And so he destroyed he shut down the whole website. But he was paying for the website. I think it was $3 or $4 or whatever to maintain it or whatever every week. So yeah, I kind of feel bad about that, that he had to endure that. Also, in my experience, in me learning this the hard way, he had to absorb some of the crap also. So that was kind of, sad. I felt bad about it. And but anyway, so we lost all the work we had put in the designs we had worked towards, all went down the drain. Also, there was no proof of what our, the designs we had worked on, the clients. We had taken pictures and videos at that time, and all of it is destroyed now. But so that was my funny experience, a weird or funny experience, and I thought I would share it with all you guys. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm still okay. It's just sad because I was very fond of her, and I don't think she will realize that how much I was fond of her. Just like I'm fond of Sunita. I've known Sunita at the same event, at the fair we had gone. It was an Asian event, or Asian fair. We had gone, and it was like a big, where the event was held was a huge big place. Anyway, so I just wanted to share this, and Sunita and I also became friends there, and have been trying to be friends for so long. Sometimes we have ups and downs, but we always patch up. 99% of the times we always patch up. So, or at least up till now, touch wood, we have been trying to patch up. But anyway, so this was my experience, and I wanted to share it with the whole world. So just sharing. Okay, well, I don't know